Hi you guys and welcome back to my channel. Happy Wednesday and happy near end of coronavirus lockdown if you are in the UK. Everything is changing so quickly at the moment and it just feels a little bit mad and also kind of terrifying. I don't know about you guys, but as much as I've wanted to go back to normal life for so long, I kind of feel like I've forgotten how to. Like, how do you have a conversation with someone? How do you shop without lining up in the first place? How do you breathe air without having a mask on? I feel like we've become accustomed to certain things and they're all going to change now. And I'm just like, I've forgotten how to be a regular functioning human being. Anyway, this week I decided to do a video on how we can keep the really amazing environmental impacts that have happened during coronavirus and how we can basically stop backtracking all the way back to where we were at the beginning. And the things that have happened to the environment whilst coronavirus has been going on are incredible. It's proof to me that if we change just a few things in our lives, we could make a massive positive impact on the environment. And what we really need to do is just look after it a little bit better. If you guys haven't heard about the good environmental impacts that have taken place, or if you've seen some of them and then found out that they were completely fake news and so you're not really sure which ones were real and which ones weren't, I've made a little bit of a list so that we can just appreciate the amazing things that Mother Nature has been able to heal and rejuvenate whilst we've been in this lockdown. And also then I'm going to go on to list some tips and tricks that we can use so that we can keep our pollution nice and low, keep that air clean, and just keep loving Mother Nature as much as she loves us. So obviously during lockdown there have been clear roads, clear skies, factories have been shut down, restricted trains, restricted buses, fewer ferries, less tourism. People have just been staying inside and the planet has been able to heal in this magnificently amazing way that just makes me love Mother Nature so damn much and appreciate how amazing she really is. Because of cleaner air and more visibility, the Himalayan mountains can be seen from Punjab and other northern cities in India. That's incredible. The fact that we've reduced our air pollution so much that we can actually see further. I talked about this one in my video, which I will link up there for you, which was all of the positive things of COVID-19 in terms of the environment, but I'm going to mention it again. In Venice, because there's normally so much tourism, the fact that there's less water pollution and less air pollution, marine life has thrived and the waters are so much clearer. I had to do a fair amount of research in order to find this one, but in the US, in Yosemite Valley, I don't know if it's Yosemite or Yosemite, sorry I'm probably saying it wrong, the black bear population has quadrupled since March. ×4! What? Since March. Those bears have been getting busy, if you know what I mean. Since the beginning of lockdown, Oxford Street has seen a drop of 47% of its average daily nitrogen dioxide levels. And I think this has to be my all-time favourite beneficial fact that has happened since lockdown. As you know, giant pandas are an endangered species and they're kept in captivity, but they're not really up for, you know, the birds and the bees activity. So scientists got involved, they've extracted the correct things, put it all in a petri dish, tried to figure it out, but it hasn't worked. Now, some giant pandas that are in Hong Kong, after a few weeks of no one looking at them and everyone just leaving them alone, have mated for the first time in a decade. Meaning that hopefully we're going to have some little baby pandas rolling around and the giant panda population will increase. So obviously with all of these amazing things going on, we want to keep them going. And as soon as factories reopen and people return to work, all of that pollution is just going to go straight back into the air. The pandas are going to stop doing it. The bears are going to go away. And personally, I don't really blame them. So what we're going to do today is go through a list of things that I've put together. They're very simple, very easy, and basically based off what we've been doing during lockdown because we're already used to it. So all I'm going to do is build on them and hopefully people are going to make a mental note and look after the environment a little bit better from here on out. Tip number 1 is carpool. I do think that coronavirus has brought this sense of community across the world that we didn't have before, kind of that existed maybe 100 years ago. Now, a really good way to keep the air clean is to take things like the bus more, but sometimes that is just not convenient and you have to be at work way too early in order to try and get 3 buses to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So what I was going to say is, why don't we do more carpooling? The chances are you live on the route of somebody who's driving from further away, or somebody who lives closer to work is someone you drive past on your way with a small detour. So I think the best way to do a carpool is probably 1 week of you driving, 1 week of the other person driving. Or if they live too far out and it has to always be the person that's far away, then you just work out a small amount of fuel price in order to pay them every single day. You're going to save miles, insurance and petrol in your car, and they're going to get a little bit of extra pocket money, and you're going to do amazing things for the environment. Now, I do want to stress that when people start going back to work, they are not going to be advised to share a car. So obviously don't do that then. But when we're back to normal, why not continue this sense of community, help people out and help Mother Nature out? Tip number 2 is to get less takeout coffee. Now, I am sat here with my Friends mug because, well, you all know I'm completely obsessed with Friends. I absolutely love it. And obviously I've spoken many a time before in my tips on how to save the environment, which I will link for you up there, about things that we can do in order to reduce our plastic waste, in order to reduce our carbon footprint. And a lot of that is just bringing your own cup to Starbucks or to Costa Coffee or to wherever you get it. But what I do want to stress in this video is look how long you went without having coffee. Some people have a Starbucks every day before work. Some people have one before work and in lunch. And when you weren't allowed to go and Starbucks wasn't open, you had no choice but to drink your coffee from home. So what I'm saying is, whilst you're on this Starbucks detox, why not skip it? And by all means, go to Starbucks and have your treat once a week, once a month, whatever you want to do. I personally just don't buy from them because I think I can make better coffee at home and they cost a fortune. And as a student, I can't afford it. But also, it's not just about the plastic cup. The paper and plastic cups come in rolls of plastic, which come in boxes filled with packaging, and the packaging is endless. Now, I know that supermarkets do the same thing when they bring their coffee into the supermarket for you to buy, but they buy normally in such a bigger batch that there's less packaging involved, and there's no cups because they're not serving it to you. So why not do what you can, try and cut down on that Costa and Starbucks, and you will make a difference and a positive environmental impact. Tip number 3. This one some of you are going to love, and this one some of you are going to hate me for saying. Stop washing up. Okay, so when we go to the sink and we wash up our stuff, we use way more water than what it takes a dishwasher. Now, some of you won't have dishwashers, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But what I'm going to say to you is rinse off your stuff, put it in the dishwasher, let the dishwasher get pretty much full, and then put it on an eco-friendly, low-temperature cycle. You're going to save lots of water, which is going to save energy, and it's going to save the environment. Now, for those of you who don't have a dishwasher, because I know for sure that I don't have one in my student accommodation, it's not that easy and I don't have these amazing tips for you. All I would say is be conscious of how fast you have that tap running. Why not slow it right down, and that way you can use less water, less energy, and save the environment. This next one is also pretty good if you like to be a little bit lazy. Tip number 4 is to stop mowing the grass so often. Now, this tip is pretty vast in the ways that it can help the environment. First off, if you leave your grass to grow a bit longer, you're going to get some weeds, some flowers, and things like that bees can come along and pollinate. And we really need to look after the bees and help them, because without them, we can't survive. The second way that it's going to help is that it's going to produce more oxygen and eat more carbon dioxide. This is what we need to have happening, and cutting your grass is something that we all need to do to keep tidy gardens, but just leaving it an extra week won't kill you. And reason number 3 is that you're going to use less petrol or electric depending on what lawnmower you have, and therefore it's going to be cleaner air, less energy, and save the planet. Tip number 5 is bulk shopping. Now, obviously, we all were told that we should only be doing essential shopping at the supermarkets. Now, this meant for a lot of us that we were only going once a week instead of going whenever we wanted something. And we were doing big shops as opposed to going in and out all week long to avoid massive queues and to save time. Now, what this has managed to do for a lot of us is teach us how to be better at food prep and better at meal plans for the week. And this is going to be so beneficial if we keep it up. I know it's tempting to go back to the way it was before, you don't have to think about it as much, but you're going to save petrol on the fact that you're not going to and from the shops all the time, or that bus fare going to and from the shops all the time. And if you bulk buy, things in bigger packages have less packaging. So bulk buy your laundry detergent, bulk buy your pasta, bulk buy things that are easy in order to store for long periods of time, and also that use less packaging. Also, bulk buying with everything closed like McDonald's and KFC has taught us that we need to pack our own snacks if we're going somewhere. Now, this is something that is really healthy, but it's also amazing for the environment, and I'll tell you why. When you go to McDonald's, not only does everything that they order in come in packaging, once they've cooked it, They then put it in more packaging and then give it to you. And then that ends up in the bin, and a lot of it's not recyclable because it's covered in grease or sauce or salt or whatever it is. You continue to use your bamboo or your glass lunchbox and fill it with fruit and things that you love, then that's so much better on packaging. Also, even if you don't want to eat healthy foods, if you want to eat crisps, you can always buy a big share bag at the supermarket and divide it out into little amounts, and you can carry that around with you. It's going to save you money, it's going to keep the air cleaner, it's going to keep waste off landfills, and it's just going to make Mother Nature smile. And finally, tip number 6 is get gardening. I've never been a big gardener, but I do feel that during quarantine I had more of a want to kind of have a green thumb. Now, I've done a little bit of research and I found 3 really easy and gorgeous plants that you can put in your home that have really high oxygen levels and a really high ability in order to take in toxins. So these top 3 plants are the peace lily, the snake plant, and chrysanthemums. Now, you can pick any plant. All plants do photosynthesis, that's oxygen out and CO2 in, which cleans our air and is healthier for us. So they're my 6 tips on how we can uphold all the good work that's happened in coronavirus and not just ruin it as soon as we go back out into the world. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. If you have any ideas on how we can keep the air clean, please drop them in the comment section below, because I know some of you have that green thumb and you know exactly what we're talking about. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, make sure to jump on down to that subscribe button, and I will see you next week. Bye! Restricted trains, restricted bus services, they're proof that we should just, to making all of these things happen. We could make the, let's see if a sip of coffee stops me from talking like a maniac. Imagine being